Hello, this is Holly Chantal, the president of the Land of Brand, and welcome to the Land of Brand Laboratory, or as I like to call it, the LOBoratory. And if you've never joined us before, we meet every every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. And you can sign up for reminders at thelandofbrand.com and click on free webinars and sign up for those. And we talk about different experiments in your coaching business. So experiments being strategies that you can try, what's working, what's not working in marketing, in messaging, and in the day-to-day running of your business. Because I believe that in order to grow your business, you must experiment, reflect, and adjust. And I specialize in working with trailblazers. Trailblazers are the coaches and the entrepreneurs that don't follow the bandwagon marketing. They are always pushing the cutting edge. They're always trying new things in their businesses and pushing out of their comfort zone. So my hope here is that by sharing with you different experiments you can be trying in your business, that you can grow and see what works best for you, because we all have different styles. And today we're going to be talking about the best 2 credit cards to use in your business. And this is just my humble opinion. It's not something that you typically think about in your business. This is probably not a question that has occurred to you, but I realized that I am, I'm kind of savvy when it comes to credit and getting the most bang for my buck, if you will. And I realized that this might be helpful for other people to know, because again, it's not something that you usually think about in your business, but has some huge potential benefits. So credit cards, love them or hate them, they exist. A lot of people have had bad experiences with credit, getting too far into debt, getting behind on payments, and hurting your credit, but here's the thing, not everyone knows this, it's pretty basic, but again, not everyone knows this, but if you charge things to your credit card and pay it off at the end of the month, you don't pay any interest. And actually that helps your credit, because it's showing that you have good payment history. You are paying it off in full every month. That shows you can handle debt. I used to work for a credit card company when I was in college. That was my my summer job, was working for a credit card company that actually paid for my college. So I know a little bit about the credit industry, so I know what to look for and what to look out for. And that was just one of the things that when I found out that that was a great way to build your credit and that you didn't pay anything for it, really credit cards become free. Not only do they become free, but there's a lot of ways you can make money using a credit card, which that's what we're really going to dig into today. The other thing about credit cards is that they're a great way to separate your personal and your business expenses. I know that when I first started out, I did not have my finances separated. I thought that if I kept all of my receipts in a shoebox, that would be enough. Apparently, that's not really the case when you're in business. You do need to separate your personal and your business accounts, and your personal and business credit cards, having them separate is very important for tax reasons, and just, it makes it easier for you to track your own finances when they're totally separate. And now I have, now that I'm actually classified as an S Corp, so, my business runs as its own entity. I'm actually an employee of my business, so that just adds a whole layer of complexity. So here's the thing. If you think about it, there are a lot of charges that you pay every month that could go on a credit card that you could be earning money on. So recurring software expenses, like in a business like mine, that runs between $800 and $1,000 a month. That's recurring expenses that are happening every month, no matter what I do. If I'm not running my business that month, I'm still getting those expenses. So that's a lot of points that you could be accumulating, which we'll talk about points in a moment. What you're paying your assistants or your contractors, you can usually put that on a credit card. Even if you pay them through PayPal, which I pay my developer through PayPal, I still make sure that it comes off my credit card, not my bank account, so that I get points. Your utilities, again, most of those can be put on an automatic credit payment. And all those stinking info products that you buy. I mean, you know, the stuff you buy on the webinars and yeah, all that self-development stuff adds up. For one, throughout the year, you should be investing in your education throughout the year, and that also could be thousands of dollars each year that you could be earning points on. So the point is that credit cards, if you have credit cards with reward systems, you can be earning points for every single dollar you spend. Then if you're paying it off at the end of the month with the cash that you're receiving that you would have used to pay for that stuff anyway, now you are not paying anything for using the credit card, and instead you're getting money back. But here's the thing, point systems are not all created equal. So you want to look for the ones, this is what I found, you look for the ones that give you a 1% return or more. And watch what categories give you bonus points. So some credit cards have these complex rules where, you know, you get 1% back on all your regular purchases, but for groceries, gas, and restaurants, you get 1.5% or something like that. Others will give you less than 1%. So how do you know how? So there's the 1% cash back, but then what if it's just straight up points? So you're getting 1 point per dollar or 2 points per dollar. That can get tricky because they might trick you by inflating the number of points you get that are actually not worth a lot of money. So how do you know if you're still getting 1% return? Most of the time, your points are worth, so for every, every $100 you spend, yeah, it would be $1 of points. So what that means is, like let's say a miles card, and you are paying a $200 flight. You would need 20,000, no, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to get my credit card out. This is ridiculous. Basically what you do is you take 2 zeros off. So 20,000 points, yeah, 20,000 points would be $200. So that means you need to spend $20,000 in order to get $200 of the points. That's a 1% return. So that's how you figure out the point values. Now, sometimes it'll get tricky that when you're redeeming the points, you know, sometimes you can get a $100 gift card for 10,000 points, and other times you can get a $100 discount, but you need to have 20,000 points, depending on who the vendor is. So just keep an eye on it. This is just stuff to look for, but the rule of thumb is a 1% return or more is what you're looking for, because that's usually the bare minimum. Don't do anything you're gonna get less than that, because there's other better options out there. Miles and points are often synonymous, so don't get confused between cards that provide points and cards that provide miles, because the terms are used interchangeably. And in the case of actual miles cards that are attached to an airline, oftentimes you can get double. So you can get money on miles for all of your purchases, as well as miles for the actual miles you're flying. And they go into the same account and they can be used in the exact same ways. So that's another really sweet option. So I'm going to give you the rundown of 4 different cards that I've used and the pros and cons of each of them, and then the 2 that are my absolute favorite and I think everyone should have. And by the way, I don't have any vested interest in sharing this information with you. I don't get anything if you do use these cards or whatnot. I don't even know if they have affiliate programs, but this is really just, again, my personal experience. I'm hoping that it's helpful for you. So I wanted to share it. So my experience using a miles card. So I used to fly US Airways, now they're American Airlines, and I had a US Airways credit card for a while. You know, when I signed up, the perks were great. I think I got like 30,000 miles right from the get-go. That's $300 basically. And the perks were fantastic and flight-tastic. So if you look at different miles cards, you'll see that sometimes you'll get extra perks with the airline that you're flying. So American Airlines will have their own perks, United will have their own perks, Delta will have their own perks, and things like preferred boarding. So whenever I buy a ticket, it's usually in zone 4, and I'm, the last to get on the plane, and have to check my bag and all of those irritating things. But when you have the card, you get to board with zone 2 so that you get to keep your carry-on. Awesome perk. Checking in, you can usually check in before other people. And I think if I remember correctly, I was allowed to have a checked bag for free. Sweet. I don't usually check a bag, but hey, if I needed to, that's a pretty nice perk. Earning miles for flying and purchases was awesome. And oftentimes there would be little promotional periods where if you spent a certain amount of money in a certain period of time, you'd get bonus points. I remember this is a pretty sweet story. When I first started with this card, it was right before my wedding, and they had this promo that if you spent like $1,500 a month for 3 months, you would get like 15,000 bonus points. Well, I was planning a wedding, so you bet for darn sure I was able to charge $1,500 a month for 3 months. So I got like so many points. It was amazing. So the problem was that these points can really only be used with that particular airline in order to get the most value. They usually can be transferred to other airlines or other hotels or other products, but the exchange rate for points for dollars is usually a little bit less for those things. So now I don't live in Philadelphia anymore, where American Airlines was like the main hub, so I don't really fly them as often. The other thing is that in general, I don't fly as much anymore, because back then I didn't have kids, and now I do, and I am chained to my house most of the time. Gotta take care. They need to be fed and stuff. I don't know. Bonuses also began being taken away. So when American Airlines took over US Airways, a lot of those bonuses began to go away. I don't know that much about the miles cards now with different airlines, if they're all across the board kind of getting more restrictive, but it seemed like the same flights I used to get were now costing more and more miles. So I remember when I first started with this card, I was able to get a flight for like 20,000 miles. And now it's costing like 40,000 miles for the same exact flight. So it just became not worth it anymore, and I started straying and looking elsewhere. So then I tried a business card. So I believe this was I think it was like the American Express Gold Business or something. And business cards have some really sweet perks, such as like they have an app you can use so that you can actually like keep the app on your phone and then take a picture of a receipt, and it'll attach itself to the statement. So you keep all your receipts for tax season. And if you get audited, they're all there in the system, right, ready to be pulled. This particular card had bonus points for certain categories, like a lot. So it was like you'd get 1 point for every dollar, and you'd get 3 points for, and then you could choose whatever category. The category I chose was recurring software subscriptions, because like I said, that's like $800 to $1,000 a month. So the problem was that my software did not fit the criteria for some reason. I don't know why, so I really got 0 bonus points. It was kind of pointless. No pun intended. And then still, I still wasn't getting that many points. So I realized that there was other cards that had more perks. I think business cards are probably more geared toward like the larger business that is buying inventory and needs a higher credit line than someone like me that's a solopreneur. Really, I don't need anything more than a personal card in order to handle my expenses. So here are my 2 favorites. First is the Chase Sapphire. This is the one I actually use for my business. The other one is the one I have for my personal. But either of them are good. It's just I don't have 2 of the same card, basically. Otherwise, I actually don't know which one I choose, because I love them both. So the Chase Sapphire, when you sign up, you get 50,000 bonus points. That's $500. $500 worth of points. And we'll talk about what those can be used for in a second. Or $625, because with the Chase Sapphire, if you book travel through their website, you get an extra 25% more redemption on your points. So it can be worth more than the $500. You get double points on travel and restaurants. Sweet, if you're traveling a lot. No foreign transaction fees when traveling. Sweet. I hate it when the few times that I've left the country and then you are like hesitant to buy stuff because you don't know, what the exchange rate is going to be and what the percentage is going to be. You're going to be paying on top of it. It's just irritating. And this one does have a $95 annual fee, but that, again, more than pays for itself with the points that you're going to be racking up. And if you travel a lot, check out the reserve card. It has a much higher annual fee. It's like $495, but the perks are like sweet, and they definitely pay for themselves if you're traveling a lot. Like I said, I don't travel as much anymore like I did pre-kids, but that probably would have been what I went with when I was traveling a lot. So these, the Chase Sapphire, the points can be used on travel through their website. You can also get gift cards, and you can even redeem them for like a check in the mail kind of thing. And here's the cool thing. It even connects to your Amazon account so that you can actually use points to pay directly for your Amazon purchases. They've since reduced the percentage that you get if you do it that way. So like it's no longer a 1% return if you do it that way. But it used to be really sweet when you could literally just, check out with your points and not even have to go through any redemption process. It was awesome. So I really like my Chase Sapphire card. The other cool perk is that when you call them, they answer the phone immediately. You're not on hold. I don't know how they do it, but they're really, really good customer service. The second card, this is one I use for my personal, is my Capital One Venture card. So the Capital One Venture card, you get 40,000 bonus points when you sign up, so that's $400. And the points can be applied as credits toward travel expenses on your statement. So basically you make the travel purchase and then you just go onto the statement and click redeem, and it'll actually just cancel out the amount you just paid. Again, really sweet, really easy to redeem. Double points per dollar. So that's a 2% return on all of your purchases. So you can really, really rack up the points quickly. And the annual fee is lower. It's $59. I love this card. The other thing about this card is that you don't have to use it for travel. Again, if you log into their website and you go into the reward system, you can get gift cards. I think you can even, with this one, you might be able to get a check in the mail that's actual cash. But again, it's just so easy to use. And again, you're making a 2% return on everything you're buying. I mean, can't really beat that. So here's what I like to do with the points. The points are my treat myself money. I'm spending all this money in my business. I'm making returns on these expenses that I'm charging. It doesn't actually help me to use those points into my business because for tax reasons that would count as income, right? You're canceling out those expenses that are no longer a tax write-off. So I like to use my points for gift cards. Because it doesn't count, they don't count as an expense, they don't show up on the credit card statement, or you can even have them redeemed as cash, and you can use them at, you can get gift cards for restaurants, home goods. I actually, when I was having my second baby and I went through like this crazy nesting phase and I renovated, this is crazy, I renovated 3 rooms in my house when I was like 8 months pregnant. I'm a little crazy. That's why this office looks so beautiful. This is one of the rooms that I did when I was super pregnant. I got like $1,200 worth of decorations, and I think I got new bedding and all these curtains and everything using gift cards that I bought with my points. Like I literally didn't spend any money, but I was able to just redo 3 rooms in my house. Couldn't pay for, oh no, I did pay for paint because I got a Home Depot gift cards. I'm crazy. So the sky's the limit here. You can literally get anything your heart desires for free when you're using your points. So that's why it really, really pays to have the right credit card. So a recap, if you charge everything to your credit card and then pay it off at the end of the month, it costs you nothing extra. You're not paying any interest. All you're doing is racking up lots and lots of points. Points can add up big time if you use, and then you can use them for almost anything. So I remember back in the day when I had my direct sales business and I was buying inventory, I was charging like $10,000 a month to my credit card. That's 10,000 points. If I had the Capital One Venture card back then, that would have been like $20,000 or yeah, 20,000 points per month. I mean, can you see how that adds up? And then last but not least, the Chase Sapphire and the Capital One Venture are the two that I found that give the most perks. And both of them have fantastic customer service. They're both very easy to use, and they're the ones that I would recommend. So what's happening in the land of brand? So right now we're working on booking projects for the end of May and into June. So if you want to have your brand together before the summer, then now would be the time to contact me, because we'd want to get you on the books fairly soon. Otherwise, there might be a wait pretty soon because I have some big webinars coming up, and our calendar is going to fill up. The Trailblazers collaborative plans are in the works, which is going to be our membership. So kind of like the LOBoratory where we're meeting and kind of giving you ideas on what to do in your business. The collaborative is more of like a mastermind of coaches, maybe some other types of online entrepreneurs, and us really all kind of coming together and collaborating and helping each other in our businesses, and working on your business instead of in it. And that's going to be coming hopefully toward the end of 2017. So stay tuned for information on that. It's going to be fan-frickin-tastic. You can go to thelandofbrand.com. If you're on my list, you'll be seeing more information about that as it rolls out. So May 24th is our next meeting at 12 o'clock Eastern, and we're going to be talking about how to make your wardrobe match your brand style. So I have a stylist, Scarlett DeBeese, coming in. She did me for my event. She has picked out some amazing dresses for me that really fit my style, or the style that I would not be able to get myself. She's amazing. And she's also, just a hint, ladies, she's amazing at getting really good deals. So it doesn't cost a lot to really develop your personal brand style. And she's going to have some really great tips for us. So definitely make it to that. And if you want to learn more about how I can help you build your brand, then email me, holly@thelandofbrand.com. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in a couple weeks.